There we go.
Hmm.
Hmm.
It's Ron. Elizabeth Moore. Happy Canada
Happy Catterday, everyone.
Happy Canada Hey, Jeff. Hey, Ron.
Hi there.
Hey, John. Brucey Whitaker's coming. Good housekeeping's in the house. And there's John. Hi, John. Nice background. You're outdoors. Hey, hey. It's a beautiful day, finally.
Hey, Jeff. Hey, Ron.
Hi, everybody from Greenwich
Hi.
Village.
Hi, Bruce.
Hi.
Hi, Glenda.
Hi, Roxanne. How are you?
Pretty good. Good to see
Good.
your face. I love your blue.
Thank you.
Hi, Phil.
Oh, Richard Boucher's coming in. Roxy, Richard Boucher just sent.
Okay, let me just see if he registered. The live stream is up.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm going to send him the live stream thing. Let me just get into the. Right.
Okay, well, I just sent him the link.
Oh, great. Thank you.
But send him the live stream just in case, you know.
Yeah.
There. Hello.
Hi, Carol.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
You got it? Okay. I didn't check my mic. I wasn't sure you could hear. Okay.
We'll put a live stream here. Ay, ay, ay. Going crazy here with this. All the bings are coming in now. We're going to start like around quarter after.
Okay.
Mhm.
Good.
Please raise me. I'm getting bings from Facebook. Maybe somebody can't get on or let's see. Oh my God, come on. Why is this thing so, I'm having a problem with this. Oh, he just came in. Richard, it's from Richard Boucher. Okay. Okay, very good. Okay.
I feel like I've been rescued. Because
Hi, everybody. We got
Hello.
Canada in the house. Yay! Hi, Susan. Hi, Rescue.
Hola.
Josephine. Therese, you made it. Let's see who else. Hi, Phil. Hi, Edward. Caroline.
Hi. Hello.
Jeff. Charlie. Glenda. Elizabeth. Marissa. Francis. Brian. Who's the phone number? There's a 3. Who is 319?
I don't know who that is. 3.
That's
Yep.
310.
Yeah, who are you? Could you let us know who you are?
It's an LA phone number.
It is.
It's the bell system.
Hi, Rich. Hi, Mona. Bonjour, Rich. Bonjour. It's amazing. We got so many people today considering. We have competition in Manhattan.
Really?
Yeah.
I think
Yes.
you've got 3 well-known Zoom personalities featuring, so it's gonna
Mhm.
bring people from all over.
Jeff Cottrell! Oh,
Yeah.
I hope it's the real Jeff Cottrell, not your doppelganger sending out
Yeah, I
friend
know.
requests.
There's a
Oh my
fake me.
God.
Well,
There's a fake
I was
me
like,
going around.
according,
that's not the real Jeff Cottrell. I know the real Jeff Cottrell.
well,
I like
concerning
that
what Jeff
coffee.
just,
Zoom dog.
we've got Edith and Marissa
Edward.
and the third wheel.
Edward Galt's in the house, y'all. We're
Yes.
publishing his book of poetry this year. Super excited to have him.
Thank
Yay.
you. Thank you.
Okay. Susan, you can go on early. I know you have to leave early.
Thank you, Patricia.
No problem.
It's nice to see you, Marissa. Nice to meet you.
Where's this thing at?
Yes, hello, Marissa. Mhm.
Beth, hi. Hi, Beth. Sorry you couldn't make the reading the other day. Hi, Harvey. And who is the phone number from LA? Who's 310? Could you just put in the chat who you are? Unmute and tell us who you are. Hope it's not a bomber.
It could be.
It can't be. There's no way people can bomb.
Mhm.
But they probably don't know how to unmute.
Right. We don't know who it is. Susan first. We'll have Susan read first. Okay, let me see. 70 messages. Jeez.
Okay.
Is that Stacy? Tesoro? Who's Stacy? Yeah. Okay, I apologize.
Woo! Tesoro in the house.
Our mama, she's our mama. Is our Tesoro leader.
Okay, so Mona has to leave. Well, Mona, you're high on the list, so no problem there. Let's see, what time is it? 2:08. I see Austin. Hi, Austin. Hi, Ken.
Hey, Patricia.
See who else am I missing? And the telephone person, hello, whoever you are.
Thank you for doing this morning, Patricia.
You're welcome.
And I don't know if you saw it in the sort of scrolling chat, but if there's room, I would like it if I could be added to
I
the
put
open
you
mic
on,
list.
once you sign up, once you pay, you're automatically on our list.
I forgot about that. Thank you.
We're okay there.
Yeah.
Is Bill
Hi,
Nevin
Patricia.
coming? Hi, Beth. It's hope Bill Nevin's supposed to come, I hope.
Well, we have a big,
Albuquerque gang here.
a wide range.
Yeah, I did send the live out to my New Mexico peeps so they could come.
Yeah, a lot of, because I go to readings, I go to Billy Brown's and all that. And I
Yeah.
went to the Casa reading.
You should come in September for the summit. Oh my gosh. Oh, you would have so much fun. We had a blast last year.
Hi, Glenda.
Hi, Roxanne.
Hi.
Oh, Roxanne, yes.
Yeah, Albuquerque is a very strong community. It's a very good community. I'm really enjoying all those groups out there. Strong poetic community there.
Mm-hmm.
So what time is it now? Okay, yes.
10 after.
Okay, I'm just gonna read the rules now. Okay, just want to let you know. We're gonna start with like 10 open people. And then we're gonna come on with features 1 and 2. That would be Marissa and Brian. You guys get 15 minutes each. All the features get 50 minutes each. And then we hit our 15-minute break. And then when Roxy returns, we're gonna have about 10 more people on the open read. And then we're gonna come to the last feature, who will be Edith Blackbird. And then the rest of the open. And so I'm just gonna say, Susan Giustiano will read first and she has to leave early. Then we're gonna have Jeff Cottrell and Ron Bremer in the open. Okay, in the open, is about 3 minutes. And the chat room is open to post your upcoming readings, your books, anything to do, and to say nice things about the poets. Our chat is is a safe space and a safe space for us to share. And we don't want any bullying or comments that will be negative. We want to keep it positive and happy. We keep this as a safe haven for poets to communicate with one another here. So please keep the comments positive on the chat room. Share your books, share your upcoming features, or just say hi. Here's Prince. Hey, Prince. It's time. As you guys know, we have like 3 segments for the open mic. So I'm just going to read off who's going to be reading in the first segment. We have Susan Giustiano, who's going to leave early. Jeff Cottrell, Ron Bremer, Mona, Brucey Whitaker, Edward Galt, Glenn Pickens. I don't see David Duffy. I guess maybe he can't make it. Oh boy, a lot of people. Elizabeth Moss. Is Julia here? Julio? No. John McMullen. Is Lynn Shapiro in the house? Okay. We have Josephine here. Okay. So we're going to end with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're gonna end with Josephine Larray and Phil Linz, because I see a lot of people not coming today. I guess, yeah, they sign up and I guess the holidays or whatever, or something came up.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, Therese, I was thinking about you the other day. I was like, oh, I need to go back and see Therese.
I tell you
Oh,
something, I am so crazy now. I tell Patricia, I said, I have to go to that. I have to go to that. I'm having company from Germany for 3 weeks, and 2 days after they leave, my daughter's having neck surgery. So I'm trying to get everything ready so I don't have to do anything. And I said, I don't care. I have to fit this in. So I'm very grateful that they let me, I was kind of on the late side, but I was trying to get everything done, Anyway, so good to see you. I mean, it's so good to see everybody. This is my oasis.
I love that. Yeah, but I was thinking about you specifically the other day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Somebody once said that literature was their utopia. So I can.
Yeah, but
Good location.
I just find poets in general. I don't think I've ever been on a Zoom where and we're all very different. We all have different beliefs, different paths, different styles of poetry, different ages. But the affirmation and the kindness is it's really helpful. It's because especially in the political scene that we're living in now, which is so distressing. Someone asked me last Easter, because I'm very committed to my own particular faith, and they said, well, where did you find the incarnation at Easter? Where do you find it? I said, I find it in the poetry Zooms, and I do, and that's just the truth.
It's good to say, it's good to speak it, because really, starting with the pandemic, the Zooms, I think, have resurrected the life of a lot of areas of poetry. We used to get together, it was easy, fill a room with people Now we fill a Zoom with people we're just getting to know, but it's still the community of writers, the community of poets. It's a shared experience, I think, for all of us.
It's a profound gift. I mean, and it's so nice. Like Marissa came and visited for a day and a half, and we went to Fire Island, and it was just so nice to see her. And Brian came for a couple of days, and it's a very loving community, I think.
Okay, everybody, I think we're ready to start.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Let me know, Roxanne, when we're ready.
We're ready.
Okay, thank you. I'm just waiting for the recording to come on.
I think the recording's already been on.
Oh.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, because I don't see it on my screen for some reason. I don't know.
Okay, it's on. We're live and the recording is on.
Great. Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Brownstone Poets. Give yourself a round of applause. Make it on a nice sunny day here in Brooklyn, and we're hopefully sunny where you are right now. We're national and international. Thank you. And we're here. We have 3 fabulous people here from Read on Red and Green. Marissa Prada, Brian Franco, and Edith Blackbird. We're here, awesome people here, and we have a fabulous open mic. So we're going to begin with about 10 open readers. Then we're going to have features 1 and 2. That would be Marissa Prada and Brian Franco. Then we're going to have a 15-minute break. And after Roxy returns, we're going to have about the next 9 or 10 people to read on the open. Then we're going to have our third feature, Edith Blackbird, and the rest of the open mic. Okay, so anybody who has to leave early, let me know now, because I know Susan Giustiano has to leave early, and Mona, you're high on the list, so you don't have to worry. Okay, so I'm going to read off who's going to read. We have like 3 open mic segments. The first, round 1, we're going to have Jeff Cottrell, Ron Bremer, Mona, Brucey Whittaker, Edward, Glenda, Elizabeth Moss, John McMullen, Josephine Larray, Phil. And the round 2 will be Harvey Sauce, Jack Cooper, if he shows up, Austin Alexis, Charlie Colbean, Beth, Caroline, Ken. I don't see Susan West. I don't know. Okay. I don't see Kellyanne Parker. Okay, that's it for now. And then the last round will be, I don't see Bertha Rogers here. So it will be, I don't know if Bill Nevins is in the house. Is Bill Nevins in the house? Guess not. Stacy Dyson. We'll have Stacy Dyson. We'll have Prince McNally, Therese, Rich, myself, and Roxy. Okay, we'll see how it goes because, you know, people come in and out. Okay, we have 3 minutes on the open. Jeff, Susan, can you unmute and share?
Thank you, everyone. It's an honor and privilege to be here with all these wonderful artists and this amazing talent in honor of Women's History Month. Caught in the paradox of having it all, reaching out and back, never truly knowing what's in my grasp, perplexities of womanhood, a miracle and a swear word. I strive to flex the barriers, live in my head and live in the reality of others, never truly choosing where to set roots. With 2 of everything, 1 for each side, roots are for the comfortable and the settled. If I choose to settle, that labels me. If I choose to be wild, that labels me. If I choose to speak my mind, that too labels me. So I choose. Keep all the labels. Miracles are terrifying as it should be. Second to none, woman is the first of our kind, world bearers. Chaos within to feed chaos without, dividing dimensions of flesh, inventing a new universe. Recreating and redefining as miracles do, terrifying to the point of rejection. Women cannot be real. She cannot be. I am as I was meant to be. The paradox is in the description of woman, contradictions shaped by experiences of others. As woman, I am as woman. Thank you.
Beautiful, thank you. Happy International Women's Month to everybody. Got to mention it. Thank you, Susan. Thank you for supporting us. Okay, the next 3 will be Jeff Cottrell, Ron Bremer, and Mona. Jeff, could you unmute and share?
Okay, so this one's kind of newish, and it's about how we all love critique writing workshops. It's called Workshop. Oh, it's my turn? Okay. Here's what I have to say about James's story, Dead. Now, I think this story has a lot of like potential, but Oh, I got the title of the story wrong. It's The Dead, not Dead, The Dead. Oh, sorry about that, James. Okay, as I was saying, I think the story has a lot of potential, but it also needs a lot of work because I don't get it. I guess my main issue with this story is that it just isn't very believable. I mean, I didn't buy it when Gabriel's wife reacted like that after she heard the other man singing that song at the party, that she'd get all worked up about the old boyfriend who died. It just didn't seem very plausible. It was just beyond credibility for me. Nobody acts like that in real life, right? And the political stuff just seemed gratuitous. But let's start at the beginning. So your opening sentence, Lily, the caretaker's daughter, was literally run off her feet. Okay, first of all, that's such a cliche, run off her feet. Just puts me to sleep right off the bat. You should definitely consider revising that. And second, right, you say she's literally run off her feet. I mean, what does that even mean, James? How can you be literally run off your feet? Is she floating in the air? Is she running on her knees now? I've yet to see anybody literally run off their feet. Such a careless, lazy use of the word literally. It's pretty sloppy, James. Writing is a delicate craft, and you have to weigh the importance of every individual word you use and strip away anything that doesn't contribute. It's obvious you weren't even thinking about what you meant when you threw in the word literally. That's so So amateurish. And why are you starting off with Lily, the caretaker's daughter? Like she's not even a very important character in the story. She's just a servant or something. You barely even see her anymore after Gabriel arrives at the party. Nobody cares about Lily. We want to get to Gabriel and his wife. They're the main characters, right? Why do you want to waste my time as a reader with this pointless minor character who's got like nothing to do with the main story? And why are you even telling us she's the caretaker's daughter? What does that have to do with anything, James? What do we care if she's the caretaker's daughter? We don't even know who the caretaker is. We don't even get to meet the caretaker, I don't think. You're just throwing in this extra fat that has nothing to do with the story. It adds nothing to it. And it's such a bland and unimaginative way to start a story, right? Lily, the caretaker's daughter, was literally run off her feet. Nobody cares. Nobody cares, James. You want to get the reader's attention right off the bat, you know. You need to start off with a bang. There's no drama, no spark, no intrigue, no life, no care for the language, no thrill of storytelling that I can see. Um, um, Lily, the caretaker's daughter, was literally run off her feet. Wow. I mean, wow, James. It's like you're not even trying. Wow. Now, the second sentence, I think it runs a little long, and you may want, Oh, you want to move on to the next person. Okay, that's fine. I've made about 20 pages of notes for James, just some constructive feedback that I think will help improve the story. I guess what I'm saying, what I don't understand about this story, who's your audience, James? Like, who is this story even for? Because I'm not getting that. Just why exactly do you want to be a writer, James? Why? Because I'm not getting that either. I think you need to take a good look at this and ask yourself some hard questions about. Oh, okay, I'm done. Next person, go ahead. Thank you. That was called workshop.
I love your stories. Oh, wow. Thank you, Jeff. Okay, the next three are going to be Ron, Mona, and Bruce. Ron, unmute and share. Everybody, please, if you're not reading, please mute. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I don't know if I'll have time for two, but this first one is pure data. You can do art. Make the phone calls. Latin is alone with you. The original messenger cracked. Everyone in town wants joy, but gets a professor. I hear the sound of elements in a cup of brown joy. The indifference engine estimated a monkey's time. It is a 76% uncertainty that the coffee achiever has cleaned his vehicle. The piano plays sketches of dunes. A little puppet on a string gets up in this town. House cats from Elysian fields want to spend the next year in Jerusalem. Sea fans club a blood rock during the night. There is nothing left to lose for fighters with no heritage. Children sometimes wear wires on their heads. Okay, and this second one was written back in 1982 when I worked for Pan Am, and was written on a flight from San Francisco to Miami. Vampires. Our lust divides the night, splits the sidewalks. We seep like limp gas, unknown pores widen. You stink of piano keys. I gorge my dripping teeth on your noise. You swallow my brain and burp. Thank you and have a pleasant day.
Thank you so much, Ron. That was fantastic. Okay, Mona, unmute and share.
Thank you, Patricia. I apologize for staying off camera. I'm in the car right now, but I have a short poem to read. Red, almost solid in its deepest shade, a solitary spot of fire. I almost taste the tangy bite of time it took to find you. Blue rhymes, trailblazing lines, and the night we met first time. a patchwork of caresses, red, blue, spun in circles, circles in squares. I am here, I say, loving you. Colors in my heart and cinnamon and honey whipped in this soft whisper. We were always here, they say, waiting. Loving my hand in yours, fragrant like the lemon leaf I rubbed on my skin, expectant and green. I taste the tangy bite of time it took to find you. Thank you.
Beautiful. Can you hold on 1 second? Roxanne, did a Kelly McAllister register? Hello? 1 second. Can you wait a second? I'm sending a message. Okay, let me go back here. I'm sorry, Mona. It was lovely. Just want to let you know, it's very hard for me to check messages if people register very late after when the meeting has started. So just understand, I have to curate this and I can't always check the messages, okay? Okay, beautiful. Next we have Bruce and Edward and Glenda. Bruce, unmute and please share.
Hello there. I will possibly fight off this siren for a moment. Greetings, everyone. I want to start with a poem that came out this week in Pine Hills Review called Every Boss is a Tango, a Duplex. After the last interview, rise, take their hand, follow to the floor, face to face, centered, the first turn, arm to waist. Striding, led into a dip, almost a drop. Losing center, arm grips waist. Sometimes you stumble. One in heels, one leads. Gliding, never stumbling, following their lead. Your partners, but they take your wins, leave the losses. Hold tight. Their moods make your weather. Win or lose, smiles tight. Read their minds, whatever the weather. Time to dance. Dance card reads full for months, years. What is time but catching the rhythm, holding the jitters close until the sweat, the gaze come to a jittery close. One of you steps back, stops still after a twirl. Every song ends. Will you bow on the last twirl or rise up and storm out, dragging your mink on the floor? And the second poem is from Good Housekeeping, as I said in the chat. It comes out Monday. Thank you so much to Roxanne Hoffman and Jack Cooper, my publishers. And I'll read the title poem, which is a sonnet. It's called Good Housekeeping. I sing the body domestic in sonnets Hooveric. The housefrau on the corner is heartless to my dog, but her pressed curtains part on a promise of paradise. Without home fires, there would be neither war nor peace. It left the bootprint of settlers on stolen lands of those they called savage. Housekeeping is why greed is the root of evil, yet it keeps us alive. Beau of that Mayfair Amazon, Mrs. Dalloway, a feather duster is our sword of Damocles. Dismiss its implications at your peril. Our polished windows gaze out unobscured on the dwindling Anthropocene vista of clear-cut wastes we've washed down the disposal. It can't go on like this. This is all we have. Thank you very much, everyone. We're available on Monday, and I'll be reading throughout New York. Check my website for locations, and take care. I really enjoy this. Good luck to everybody today. Thank you so much.
Congratulations on your new book. Beautiful. Okay. Next up will be Edward, Glenda, and Elizabeth. Edward, please unmute and share.
Okay, thank you. First of all, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, this one is called Divorce. It doesn't start in the courtroom in front of a judge. That's two strangers with your lawyer and their lawyer. Divorce started long before that. Divorce, real divorce, was when you sat down at the table and didn't speak. It wasn't the argument. Then you were speaking. Divorce was coming home, sitting in your chair, reading the paper, or sitting at your computer at your desk, scrolling. You didn't notice him come in. She didn't say anything when you got home. Divorce is when you know everything there is to know about them, or think you do. All the enchantment is gone. The magic is over. Divorce is when he sees the bills, when she only sees the child. Divorce, divorce is when you no longer see the divinity in the other person. You are strangers. You know, I've got time. There's one more. It's a short one called Apology. I'm sorry that I passed you by today when you asked me for that $1. I turned away. I couldn't spare so much as a dime. I pass you every day. You are a constant reminder of the restructuring and downsizing of our times, a winner in the anti-lottery. To see you there, I would have to look down, and they tell you never to look down when climbing a cliff. We are all climbing a cliff these days. I simply can't afford to see you way down there, looking up to me for help that I can't give. Nothing a $1 would cover, or even a dime. You know, I'm not that much better off. I see you in my possible self someday, my probable self, my definite self. There is really nothing more for me to say. I'm sorry that I passed you by today, as I have done so many times before. Tomorrow I will try to see you there. Thank you very much.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Very, very deep poetry. Thank you again. Wow. Deep. Okay, next we have Glenda Pickens. After Glenda is Elizabeth. And then we're going to have John, Josephine, and Phil to end this first round. Glenda, please unmute and share.
Hello, everyone. The name of my poem is Did They Hear? And it's a tribute to Gil Scott Heron, poet extraordinaire. I saw you walking toward me, and it took me by surprise when you asked, did they hear when I said the revolution will not be televised? Did they hear when I said it's winter in America? Did they hear when I said a sign of the ages or get out of the ghetto blues? Did they hear when I said people are living in the bottle? Did they hear when I said Lady Day and John Coltrane would wash your troubles away? Did they hear when I said ain't nothing like grandma's hands? Did they hear when I said home is where the hatred is? Did they hear when I said the prisoner needs to be heard? Did they hear when I said I think I'll call it morning? Did they hear when I said Bobby Smith was a warrior? Did they hear when I said a vulture in our culture? Did they hear when I said no knock, head rock? Did they hear when I said evolution is a flashback? Did they hear when I said history is a weapon? Did they hear when I said save the children? Did they hear when I said work for peace? Because there ain't no freedom without peace. When you walked away and I saw only your shadow, I heard you whisper, Did they hear? Did they hear? Did they hear? I screamed, I'm sorry, Mr. Gill, they didn't hear, and fell down on my knees and wept. Thank you.
Whoa. Powerful, girl. Powerful. Thank you for sharing that. Excellent. Okay, next one up is Elizabeth Moss, Happy Saturday. Then after her, we're going to have John, and Josephine, and Phil. Elizabeth, unmute and share.
Okay. A field guide to birds of North America. The northern harrier dreams of sky, bits of moon and clouds. As he flies, gray and white, body shadows wetlands and open fields. He will never come to my window where I place bricks of suet. He does not soar high. The stars are light years too far. The ground's closeness is reassuring. He believes it keeps him safe. The sandpiper calls twee, twee at the beach where sunbathers watch. She calls for someone distant who's never coming home, someone far away in the dunes behind the towels and umbrellas. She flies with the others, enjoying a wealth of sand at her home. When she lands, wetness covers her feet just the way she likes it. The large-billed tern has broad wings with shiny points, like outsized arrows. He leaves his home in Paraguay for Florida, where he swoops in and listens to people's conversations, making sure they're not talking about him. He turns his head and bill around just to see what they're saying. Nothing good. The razor bill is chunky. She's been teased for it all her life. She growls, knurr. It's the horror of having to nest in a cliff by the sea, but it's all she knows. Still, she loves her children, protecting them from sharp edges, sudden falls. For now, all is well. She nestles in her own warm circle, her nest, her joy, children gathering around. Do I have time for another one?
Very brief.
Okay. Nightshade. Tomatoes are nightshade. Toxins have been lurking in our salad. My friend pointed out dark berries. Deadly nightshade, she said. The fruit of malicious desserts. The tomatoes of pupil dilation. Each restaurant serves red half moons that taste like gravelly ice. Nightshade berries taste like love, my friend said. Someone tired of a spouse could make a fabulous dinner, luring their former beloved into another kind of bed. For 7-year-olds who want to make poison, there are antidotes on kitchen shelves. The children eat tomatoes for lunch at school, though no one goes home sick. Everyone has wanted to poison someone sometime. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. John McMullen, unmute and share. And after John will be Josephine, and Phil will end the first round of the 3 rounds of open mics. John, unmute and share.
Okay. The backstory on this is I was fooling around with chat at the GBT. And I wasn't happy because it gave me wrong answers and it did a whole bunch of stuff. And I asked it to write a poem. It didn't do well. But then I started doing something with Copilot and something happened that just blew me away. I had a profile up there and I wanted to add to it my dog's name. So I said, Fowler, one of the dogs, the 14-year-old Silky Terrier. And then I had to identify myself because there's a couple of John McMullins there. So I said, I'm the portal of Yorktown. When I looked at it, it had decided to write a poem, and it wrote a poem, Ode to Phallus. Completely blew me away that it made the decision it would write a poem. So since then, I've done two things with it. I've asked it to write a poem in the style of Charles Bukowski, who really got me into this thing. And for those who are familiar with Bukowski, this first one sounds just like him. Neon nights and whiskey dreams. The Barstool creaks under my weight, a worn-out relic of countless lost hours. The jukebox hums spitting out old blues, and I nurse my glass like a wounded animal. The bartender, a grizzled sage with nicotine-stained teeth, slides another shot across the scarred counter. His eyes tell stories of broken hearts and missed chances. I wonder if he's ever tasted hope. Outside, the city sprawls like a wounded beast, its neon veins pulsing with secrets and sins. I've seen it all, the desperate lovers, the lost souls, the hollow-eyed dreamers chasing illusions. The women here wear their scars like bandages, a lipstick smeared, eyes haunted by too many nights. They lean against the jukebox, hips swaying, and I drown in their laughter, their pain. The clock ticks mercilessly, counting down to the dawn I don't want to face. But the whiskey burns and the neon calls, so I raise my glass to the gods of forgotten dreams. In this dim-light cathedral of broken promises, I find solace in the company of strangers. We share our wounds, our regrets, and for a moment we're all poets, like lost souls. So here's to the moon, the neon lights and whiskey dreams, to the ache that lingers long after closing time. May we stumble through life, bruised and alive, and find beauty in the cracks of our broken hearts. And then the other thing that I asked her to do was to write in my style. I didn't quite get it, about COVID. So it did. And to me, it's a little profound here that it picks up things that at least I might not have thought of. The art of losing. In the quiet of our quarantine days, we learn the art of losing slowly, steadily, as if life itself were a fragile thing, a porcelain teacup slipping from our grasp. The streets, once bustling, now echo silence, and faces behind masks hide stories untold. We count our losses like rosary beads. Every bead of memory, a touch, a dream deferred. The art of losing isn't hard to master. For we've lost the rhythm of our lives. The morning commute, the crowded cafes, the laughter shared over shared meals. Except the fluster of canceled plans, the hour badly spent scrolling through news, the longing for a hug, a handshake, a kiss, all sacrificed at the altar of safety. We lose the familiar cadence of voices, the warmth of gatherings, the solace of touch. And yet in the stillness we find resilience, a quiet strength that blooms like spring flowers. We lose track of time, days blending into weeks, as the virus dances its invisible walls. We lose our illusions of invincibility, our certainties shadowed like glass. But even in this pandemic shadow, we discovered new ways to connect. Zoom calls, bridging distances, acts of kindness, stitching up frayed edges. The art of losing isn't hard to master, so I've lost again. Yet hope persists, a stubborn flame, guiding us through this uncharted night. So let us learn this art with grace. Hold our losses gently, like fragile birds. When a storm subsides, we'll emerge stronger, wiser, and forever changed. And the note that it put in on the end of it says, note, this poem is a creative work inspired by the thought of Jonathan McMullen and the collective experience of the COVID pandemic. May we find hope and resilience even in this challenging times. So the poem that it wrote when I didn't ask it to blew me away. And just the idea of it and kind of scared me. And his last two, the second one was definitely in the style of Bukowski. I showed to a lot of people that are familiar with his work. And then this other one found the loss and the gain. And I thought it was rather profound. And once again, that scared me a little. So thank you for putting up with me.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. Sorry about the dog. Please, everybody, keep it around 3 minutes. We love your readings, but please keep it to 3, okay? Trying to get everybody in. Okay, we have Josephine. Josephine, please unmute and share.
Hi, thanks. I'm coming to you from Calgary, Alberta, which is north of Montana, and I'd like to acknowledge the Indigenous peoples who lived and traversed here for thousands of years, the Piikani, Tsuut'ina, Lakota, Kainai, and Siksika, and thank them for having brought culture and language and poetry to the land. I kind of picked what I'm going to read based on a message. I sent somebody a message yesterday, and I said Happy Easter, and without knowing their beliefs or denomination, they sent back Happy Spring. We got, I don't know, about 6 inches of snow this week. So I'm going to read a poem to let spring happen. It's called A Litany of Blooms. I shall continue to plant until my garden contains every named and unnamed shade of green. From deep spruce, harboring evening deer, to silver gray wolf willow spray. Translucent lilac just before bloom, the prickle of nettle, the tremble of columnar aspen, clover conquering grass. I will learn all the common and the Latin names deeply rooted in Greek. Golden splash euonymus, pleasant sounding. Lobelia, gypsophilia, linum, creeping lamium, lilium, allium, alyssum, helichrysum, a litany of blossoms. Flowers for insects and flowers for birds. Armeria, paeonia, delphinia, verbena, campanula. Petals in a panoply of color. Bahia blue, splash red hypostes, coleus and creeping purple thymus. Artemisia, fuchsia, from sun worshippers to shadow lovers, maidenhair and ostrich fern, Convallaria majalis, lily of the valley, muguet, in any language that first whiff of dappled spring. From ground creepers to celestial seekers, lavande papillon, butterfly lavender ready to take flight. Blooms whose words can cast a spell, lavatira, celosia, primula auricula, scabiosa, argentera, variegate, cosmos sonata. Dicentra spectabilis, known to the French as Cœur de Marie, Mary's heart bleeding for a dying son. From the sacramental meadow-sweet bridal veil to far-off lands, Maltese cross, Spirea japonica, Iris siberica, lemon cypress, Nanking cherry. Anemone sprung from Aphrodite's tears and the blood of her mortal lover, Adonis, whom she did implore not to go hunt boar, to no avail. The epic and the commonplace, Johnny jump-ups, petite pensée, daylilies and hardy roses named for explorers, Frobisher, Baffin, Franklin, the rugosas. May I never more plant a rose lacking scent or thorn, for a rose indeed, by any other name, a rose. Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you. Thank you, Josephine. Phil, you're going to end the first round. Phil, Liz, unmute and share.
You out of Wilmington, Delaware, a New Yorker. Poem is called Solstice for Wendy and Chris, and the epigram comes from Springsteen. Everything dies, baby, that's a fact, but maybe everything that dies someday comes back. We forget so much. We believe in internal combustion and silicon wafers, in their power and their teachings and the comforts and the knowledge they bring us. But we forget the old ones, the visions on the hellish deserts of the Great Plains, the rites of becoming by the Congo River, the stars, our sun, Stonehenge, Mexico City, Alexandria. There is much that's good here. Our culture is strong and diverse. We glory in our material solace. The homes and meeting rooms are clean, well kept, safe from fire and winds. Our foods are satisfying and supportive. Our telescreens show us all parts of our shrinking global village, but we're starving in this palace of plenty. We're empty in this world of fulfillment. It's not needed that we turn our backs on this, our living time, the world we've been given. To walk away from a gift offends the giver and damages each of us more. But to value the movement of the Holy Sun, to honor it and join with others in remembrance and communion, to share and recreate, the old way is yet useful in this, our living time. Embracing spirit in the midst of technology, the millennium rising.
Thank you, Phil. Thank you for sharing. Okay, before we go on to our first two readers features here, just want to let you know, round two, we're going to have Harvey Sauce, Jack Cooper if he shows up, Austin Alexis, Charlie Colbean, Beth Morse, I think Caroline is going to be popping in and out, Ken Howard. And a lot of people are not reading. And the third round, we're going to have Alejandro, Prince, I don't know if Therese wants to read. We're going to have Rich, myself, and Roxy. Anybody else I didn't mention, just let me know. Okay. I'm going to introduce now Marissa Prada. Hold on, let me just get this. Sorry, guys. I don't know, Zoom
Hello.
is. Yeah, hi. Introduce. Okay, hang on here. I just want to get, I'm trying to get a full screen here. Hold on. Speaker. Okay, great. Okay, Marissa Prada turned to writing and spoken word as a method of healing. Marissa continues to write as a tool for managing anxiety, stress, and trauma, as well as an expression of love, independence, and sexuality. She has been published in many periodicals and anthology around the world. Marissa is the founder of Red or Green Books, okay, and is the co-founder and creative director for the Word is Right on Facebook and Instagram, a platform that hosts open mics, slams, and workshops almost every day of the week. Marissa is a founding member of the worldwide women's poetry group, Tesoro. Let's give a warm Brownstone welcome to Marissa Prada. Go girl from Albuquerque.
Woo! Oh, thank you so much for having me today. I'm so glad to be back at Brownstone Poets. And I have a lineup. I have 4 pieces today for you to give you a pretty good stretch to the vast nature of my work. And yes, Edith, I will be reading from Out Loud. This is our literary art anthology. This is the literary art anthology for our LGBTQ community. And both Patricia, Edith, Generalissimo, there's everyone is not everyone, but there's so many people in the room here who are in this. Roxanne is in this as well. So it's a way to honor my co-readers and of course our hosts today. So thank you all for having me. I'm in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So if you're interested in coming to our summit in September, please go to the website and check it out. All right. A deeply personal poem I have not read hardly at all. So I'll go ahead and open with this one, and then we're going to go serious, and then we'll end with some really lighthearted woman love. Okay. All right. This poem is titled The Day My World Died. The operating room is so lonely. When you realize your life exists now without a dream for survival. I sat there in scrubs, paper mask in my hand, beeping sound of the OR in the next room, shuffling of equipment and feet, voices calling out numbers, a more steady beeping in place of heartbeat. Reality is a brutal baptism. It was like I was experiencing a momentary lucid lapse. Time had stopped and I could even twist back the clock. rewind my VHS mindset and be back to where my journey was headed, not where it ended. Like threading a needle with dissolvable sutures, my vision was that good back then. I never saw it ending. I never saw it ending like that. I never saw the end until my body began to quit too. Broken heart palpitations postured between rhythm of anxiety and fear. The smell swept off my skin like moldy, bitter orange rind. I hated the smell of my own inability, my own failure, my own inadequacy to fake being okay or pretend to be better at least. So I became a clown, learned to juggle, learned to paint on a happy face, learned to dress the part and decompose in the irony. Each day I woke up, Folgers in my cup companion to night terrors I never talked about, thinking today would be different. No one will ridicule me today. No one will see my scars today. I won't panic. I won't be scared. I can do my job today. And like a good soldier, I followed my commanding cortex into battle, into a war I waged in an effort to forget, in an effort to beat it, so that my dreams would come back. Because my life could not be like this. Not really. Denial is decadently demure. It holds healing hostage until the great separation of body and spirit rips apart your insides and you find yourself sobbing on an OR floor alone. At least now, you have permission to leave. You have permission to forgive yourself. Because it's not your fault. Life just happened. Get up! Get up and walk on, woman! There are poets waiting for you. And their dreams will become your dreams. And oh yes, you will see those come true. Thank you. I am excited. Our goal is to publish our 1 millionth word this year. You guys, like, let's go. So, yes. So thank you everyone who has contributed to that journey. Many of you know that ending gun violence in America is a huge part of our calling as a publishing house. And as a writer and as an author and a spoken word artist, I write a lot to that. And this is the poem I wrote. This happened the first year after COVID, when the schools opened back up. We had our first fatal middle school shooting here in Albuquerque. So this poem is dedicated to Benny Hargrove. It is titled Funerals Instead of Detention. First days of school are special. First days of a new school in a new grade with new teachers and new friends are fabrics that quilt together proud parental memories. This year, my daughter started middle school. What an adventure. My dad used to tell me all kinds of adult jokes, some about Jimmy Hoffa floating through a manhole in New York City. I mean, who was Jimmy Hoffa? What the hell was a manhole anyway? But my teachers laughed. I always had jokes back then, before children died at school. Back when it was monkey bars instead of manslaughter, picture days instead of identifying bodies, PTA meetings instead of wakes, fundraisers instead of funerals, lunch lines instead of processions, ball games instead of burials, concerns of COVID instead of needing Kevlar. You see, at some point the laughing goes quiet because there's nothing funny about another fatal school shooting. Imagine 2 boys, 13 years old, 8th grade. One boy bullies another boy. When his friend confronts the bully, see something, say something, right? The two boys get into an argument. Next day, lunchtime, bully brings his father's gun in backpack, weighted down weight of who knows what, ready to end a life. Shoots the boy who stood up against him square in the chest, left to bleed out in the one patch of green grass on the playground beside the track. The last place his parents said goodbye. Multiple shots fired, multiple gunshot wounds, children scatter, child seeps blood from his body until the last breath evaporates from his face. Armed school police detain the shooter. 13-year-old kid, second day of school. He died, another statistic, child violence, school shooting, sent to the safe space. That's supposed to be school. I wonder if the boy who died told jokes. He sounded like a good kid. Don't you dare tell me school hasn't been safe for a long time, as if that's supposed to be some sort of comfort, that babies still find their beds 6 feet under a society that hasn't lost enough yet. Don't tell me not to worry when I drop my kids off at school. Fuck this being the norm. Fuck this being part of growing up. My daughter hugged me goodnight tonight. And as I glanced on the magnets of our refrigerator door, I realized there's a mother out there unable to hug her child because he's in the morgue. And now I'm holding my child, saying, Mommy loves you, sleep tight, good night. Talking with my daughters about this, I told them if they see someone getting bullied, to get adult help, not to intervene, not to speak up, not to draw attention to themselves, then explain why they can't do the very basic human reaction. Help someone in need. Because when I hug my kids goodbye at school and I watch them walk away, I pray they get to live another day. And that's that. All right. I'm gonna switch gears because I can't leave you on the floor, you guys. But you always get 100. 100 every time I read, I will give it to you. And we have to talk about these things. So we're gonna go. We're gonna keep moving, all right? Because I want you to feel a lot of different things today. And I promise you, I will pull you back up, okay? So stay with me. This is my piece, Don't Say Gay. This is my tribute to my LGBTQ community. And for everyone who is a part of this lovely anthology, thank you. Shh. Don't say gay. It's a gateway drug. Well, here's what I say to your shushing. Gay, 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 motherfucking gay. I will say gay anywhere I want, anytime I want, because I am not against the law. We are not against the law. And if you say it is the law, then the law is wrong. Laws written by straight white men with their dicks so far up in the Bible, hoping their own gay tendencies won't send them to hell and parade. No one talks about private parts. Laws championed by scared adults who make their problems their children's problems, who haven't unpacked their own crap so they pass around trauma instead of progress at the dinner table. We need to say gay. We need to say gay often and early while valuing people equally. Tell me, what age do you think children should know their gender? Dress them in blue or pink, give them titles boy or girl, which bathroom to use, when we all shit. When is it age appropriate to learn compassion and community, acceptance and empathy, to teach our children that curiosity won't kill them, that the adults will protect them, they won't shame them for their questions, and it's completely normal to feel different than you look or been told you have to be? What is the age of consent for kids who just want to please, who can't say no, since no was never taught that it's a whole answer, please? Queer kids know. And they know early how they feel inside about who they are and what they want. Have you ever talked to a trans kid? Those are some of the strongest humans you will ever meet if they live, if they choose to live, if they don't get killed. Education is based on fact and study, so educate yourself. Fact. This year, 2 out of 10 high school kids will seriously consider or attempt suicide. Almost half are gay. Of the ones who survive, 80% will attempt again in 6 months. And if you say, well, I don't have kids, it's not my problem, shame on you. Kids are the responsibility of the community. You could be a safe adult for them. You could be a friend. Gay is not a clinical condition. Gay children are not under a spell. This is not a learned behavior. Children cannot catch gay. What they can catch is hate, bullies, bullets, beatings, homelessness, abuse, starvation, trafficking, trauma, rape, death. They can catch it like a cold. Of all the things we have to talk to our kids about at school, fire drills, lockdowns, bullying, active shooters, police brutality. How in the absolute hell is gender identity and sexual orientation the big no-no? Oh no. Have convos with your kids, validate their questions, and educate yourself. Change the way we see each other, treat each other, love each other. I won't go quietly into the abyss of censorship. I say gay. What do you say? Poem. And last but not least, it's a ride. It's a ride on my features. I hope you walk away feeling something after today. I know I will be. All right. This is for my ladies, and this is one of my favorite all-time pieces for you ladies out there. It's titled Bagel and Pap Schmear. You're welcome ahead of time. My vagina Mrs. Light. See, she has to wait every year for that one special day. Just the thought of that cold, hard metal speculum, in that tiny plastic scraping spatula, gets her all riled up. Crinkling white featherweight paper blanket, the doctor enters with her perfect mascara again. Says lay back, but down. The sound of those foot stirrups clink. Man, there's nothing like it. The expectation, the tantrum of the entire operation, standing ovation for this current ovulation. The light is on its way. Just give me one good thrust. It's nothing like an annual pelvic exam. Hands gloved, loved with a snap at the wrist, waiting in anticipation. Lube goes on all over her hand. My doctor has the best hands. Nothing like the feel of blue nitrile gloves, just a tad too large for her fingertips, wrinkling at the ends. And with a pop, she places that speculum right on my special purpose and spreads me like Moses. Her name is Mona. And there it is, sunshine at last. My pussy in her Hawaiian shirt and sun hat, hair fluttering in the breeze, toes in the sand, margarita in her hand, followed by gooey glove finger love. They go to town in my corridor. I had to close my eyes, breathe in deep, and remember to keep it professional as darkness gives way to light. Radically amazed at her swift vaginal doctor skills. And in just a moment, it is over. The pressure is gone, and so is she. Goodbye, speculum and scraping spatula. Goodbye, nitrile gloves and gooey lube. Goodbye, white paper blanket and sunlight. See you again next year. Thank you all so much. Happy Easter. Have a blessed one, everyone.
I love how it ended. Thank you for sharing your powerful work. Wow. Thank you. I hate the gunnels. Okay, speaking of, next we have Brian Franco, is a gay Jewish poet from Brunswick, Maine. He completed with the Portland, Maine Rhythmic Cyber Slam team in the 2014 National Poetry Slam in Oakland, California. He has been published in the US, Australia, England, India, Ireland, and Scotland, and has featured for poetry events in the US, England, Ireland, and Scotland. He was a finalist for the 2022 NAMI NJ Dada Axelrod Expressive Arts Poetry Contest. He hosts Cafe Generalissimo Open Mic, is a member of the Beardo Bards of the Bardo Poetry Troupe, painter, sculptor, gardener, and culinary genius. His book, Everything I Think Is All in My Mind, was published in 2021 by Red or Green Books. Let's give a warm Brownstone welcome to Brian Franco. Take it away.
Thank you very much. Actually, I won that contest the next year. But let's go ahead. The first poem is a haiku, which is the first poem in my book, Everything I Think Is All in My Mind. And the meaning of life is not about breathing, but deciding to breathe. And this is the poem that won the contest in 2023. I never thought I could ever be a cartographer. Imagine if there were a map a person could follow to achieve joy. Being a human being is about breathing, is about waking up every day, is about putting feet on the floor and getting out of bed, is about living life, is about deciding to do all of the above. Some days I wake to birdsong outside my bedroom window, to sunshine peeking through the blinds. But there are days I wake to rain that tap dances across the roof as if it were my destiny, to rain that feels destined to flood my day. Those days are days I need to slip on boxing gloves or brass knuckles to fight for the right to put my feet on the floor, the right to get out of bed, the right to live life. Those are the days when turning the knob on the shower feels like pushing a Sisyphus boulder. But the second the water sprays from the shower head, the steam rises against my face. The torrent touches my back. The boulder shrinks to the most minuscule pebble and washes down the drain into oblivion. I put loose Kashmiri green tea, allspice, cardamom, mace, and white peppercorns in a drawstring tea bag, then steep it in boiled water. I drizzle coconut milk into the tea to create a chai that tastes like hope. Joy is achieved. Sometimes I listen to sad songs or watch a tearjerker till tears turn to laughter. Sometimes I go to dinner and sit at the counter, go to a diner and sit at the counter to breathe in the sound of people. Sometimes I go to a museum to sit on a bench and stare at a painting in silence. Colors and brushstrokes sound like jazz, music I close my eyes to listen to. I'm in a trance. I am levitating. Joy is achieved. I am charting a new map to find joy every day I wake and decide to live life. Every map is a map I must decide to chart because I don't need joy to breathe, but it sure does make life more worthwhile. And this is the next two poems are newer. To all the taste buds I loved before. I have been accused of being an acquired taste on multiple occasions. Sometimes it is said in a whispered voice, just loud enough for me to overhear. Sometimes they say it whilst introducing me. Sometimes I wonder why the word whilst has no E. Beer is an acquired taste. Kombucha is an acquired taste. Coffee is an acquired taste. When I started drinking coffee, it was with milk and sugar, then just milk, then black. There is something organically satisfying about the taste of a good, strong cup of black coffee. But sometimes I like to put honey or coconut milk in coffee. Always beware of any new coffee drink from Starbucks unless you want to induce diabetes. Although I doubt I induce diabetes, I can leave a bitter aftertaste and can unintentionally raise someone's blood pressure without trying. This next one is, what is the fear of fear called? I fear everything and I fear nothing. Well, maybe that's not the right way to put it. I think I fear everythingness and nothingness. And while I have never known everythingness, I have felt nothingness. Fear is part of the package we buy when we are born into this world as a conglomeration of blood, skin, and bones with a bonus brain of human beings. Fear happens to babies when they exit wombs into air to be slapped on the butt after birth. Should we fear those who seemingly don't experience fear? I know I am incapable of fearlessness. Personally, I've experienced a hell of a lot of anxiety in my 57 years, but anxiety isn't exactly fear. Remnants of past fears attach themselves to behaviors as irrational memories that refuse to unfuse themselves from my psyche. The psychological landscape has attached terminology to specific fears in the form of diagnoses: fear of heights, fear of spiders, fear of needles, fear of clowns, fear of this, fear of that, fear of the other. Just like the dream interpretation books bookstore sell, the teeth falling out dream is always the worst for me. There needs to be a book of all these fucking fears. Do they keep statistics on how many new fears are named every year? The deeper unmanned submarines descend into the oceans, the more new species are discovered. Is there a fear of not enough likes on social media? Is there a fear of wearing sunglasses incongruous to the shape of one's face? What should we call the fear of being fearful? Fear in its own right is both rational and irrational. The fear of fire is not the same as the fear of being too close to a fire. Why do people walk barefoot over hot coals, expecting to escape without burnt souls? People who train their minds to not fear cannot train their blood to not flow. Okay, from fear to tears, trying to comprehend the physics of tears. Why do some tears feel so hot they could cut a rut down my cheek as a path for future tears, while some tears feel as if they broke off an Arctic ice floe into the Atlantic waiting to sink the Titanic? Why do my eyes decide to boil saline or keep inventory in ice cube trays? How do the powers that be decide what life events warrant what temperatures? I understand why I cry, but I don't understand why tears sometimes drop from only one eye, or why tears sometimes pour down in torrents, but sometimes trickle like maple sap on a late February day. I can't comprehend the physics of crying. Sometimes I cry for no reason at all because I have a disease called depression. Sometimes the littlest thing will set me off. Maybe a memory gets triggered about my deceased mother or father or my friend Beth who passed from cancer. It can be a song or a line in a movie or Madras hat or potato soup or Labrador retriever. Sometimes I feel I am a slave to my tears. I wonder if I sometimes cry hoping a tear will track down my cheek to the edge of my lips so I can taste saline, so I can taste sadness, so I can taste hurt, so I can taste anger, so I can taste heartbreak, causing the substance to secrete from my emotions. Why do I feel compelled to tell anyone who bears witness to my crying it's just allergies when crying is an essential mental health physiological response? Crying is not a sign of fragility, but an indication of fortitude. It's how our bodies shed dead bark, existing on trees that inhabit our souls. Yet, when I cry in the presence of others, I tend to turn away when what I need most is a validating smile or hug or patronizing shoulder squeeze. Tears are a gift from God. Tears are a gift to our lips and the tips of our tongues. Tears are a gift to our skin. Sometimes after a good cry, my face feels like it feels after I dunk my head in the ocean when my skin breathes because my soul is breathing. The next time you want to stop yourself from crying, don't. Celebrate your tears. They might be hard to celebrate when they're happening. As Yiddish theater legend Ishkabibble Shipowitz once said, the reason the sun can shine bright during a thunderstorm is the same reason a good cry is best followed by a quick, impromptu laugh. before for Rita, Rusty Rose, and everyone else inside the Stonewall Inn when it was raided by the NYPD June 28, 1969. The Shangri-La sang "Give 'Em a Great Big Kiss" on the jukebox before it happened. It was a hot, humid evening. Judy had passed 6 days prior. She was one of the original allies decades before ally was used for our purpose. Dorothy was the ultimate lost soul in a surreal, hopeful tale. We all hoped for a world where windows did not have to be blacked out in our bars. We all hoped we didn't have to hide our true selves in public or at work. None of us believed it was possible. There was always a chance the cops might raid our spaces and print our names in the papers. It was a hot, humid evening. The subway was crowded. I climbed the steep mountainous stairs from underground, walked up Christopher Street, told the bouncer at the door the password, and entered. I sat at the bar. The beer was cold. I felt relief as it cooled my throat. I was in a place that was filled with people like me. Dare I use the word family? It was as safe as a space could be decades before someone would say the words safe space. Patrons danced and smiled and flirted just like any other bar. Then it happened. Elegy for 16 Candles concerning the Dadeville, Alabama birthday party mass shooting. Dear sweet 16, your birthday party was not supposed to be a surprise party. I heard your grandmother baked a hummingbird cake. Did everyone there sing happy birthday? Did you get to blow out the candles? There's a rumor your brother switched the candles with candles that don't blow out. It wasn't supposed to be a surprise party. There wasn't supposed to be an indoor fireworks show of gunfire. It wasn't supposed to be the subject of a sheriff's press conference. I wonder if the candles were lit and if the cake survived. I wonder if the joke candles became a candlelight vigil before anyone else knew what happened. I wonder how long it took for someone to wet their fingertips to extinguish the candles. Upon arbitrarily running into an ex at Trader Joe's. One day, while squeezing persimmons at Trader Joe's, I espied a former lover of whom I hadn't seen in decades, of whom hadn't invaded my thoughts in decades, of whom had escaped my sleeping dreams over a decade ago, of whom broke my heart surgically by removing it with words that served as scalpel. This former lover walked over to me decades later and touched my shoulder lightly. This former lover dared look me in the eyes and said, "Hello, long time no see." This former lover said she would grab a hot cup of Lapsang Souchong and catch up, as if invoking my tea of choice from the past would not raise long dormant emotional keloids in my memory. I said, why not? My apologies for this poem. Why do I apologize for so many things that don't require apologizing? I apologize for recounting the fact that I apologize for things I should not apologize for. When other people apologize for something they shouldn't apologize for, I tell them that I forgive them. But there was no reason for them to apologize to me. How to become a society of apologists? To be honest, I'm not finding the word apologist in its correct connotation. So I apologize if I am not using the word apologist in its correct connotation. I will not Google the definition of the word apologist. I guess that means I am lazy. I guess I apologize for being too lazy to Google the definition of apologist. I keep misspelling apologist with 2 P's instead of 1, and I misspell with 1 S instead of 2. I guess I need to apologize for all my misspellings. Oops, I misspelled both words again. I apologize. And finally, we have how to get away with public nudity. When I read my poetry, I empty myself of me. I'm not pretending to be someone else. I'm not stepping out of myself. Maybe I'm stripping bare without removing any clothing. Maybe the clothes I choose to wear are a costume I use to hide in plain sight. Maybe the words I commit to page and extol through voice are my version of streaking across the 50-yard line while Lady Gaga sings the Star-Spangled Banner at the Super Bowl. When I empty myself of me when I read my poetry, it's like tossing a deck of cards in the air and hoping the jokers land face up. Every day I wake up is a wild card that tries to learn its way out of being wild. When I empty myself of me when I read my poetry, every time I play 52 pickup, I pick up the cards, put them back in the box, return to living life, and because I'm a poet, I get to empty myself of me every time I write a new poem, if I choose. Thank you.
Thank you.
And my next Cafe Generalissimo is actually tomorrow. I'll put that in the chat. Thank you so much, Roxanne and Patricia.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That was really awesome. Wow. Yeah, we should check out that reading. Thank you for put it in the chat. Thank you again. Okay, before we go on our break, I just want to reiterate the second round when we come back after the 50-minute break. We're going to have Harvey Sauce. This is for round 2, Harvey Sauce. Jack Cooper, if he shows up. Austin Alexis, Charlie Colbean, Beth, Caroline, I think she stepped out, but she may be stepping back in. Ken Howard. And we're going to, I just want to let you know that next month, we're going to have a reading on April 27th. That'll be, our features will be Sarah Sarai, Bruce E. Whitaker, who's in our audience, and Cornelius Edie. So please check us out. Keep in touch. And if you have any shameless plugs or anything you want to say, you can unmute now. We're on our break. Enjoy. And please share. I'll be right back.
If y'all have not thought about coming to New Mexico for the Poetry Summit, you really should consider it. Brian's going to be here. Edith's going to be here. Lorraine is going to be here. Who else is in the room who's going to be here? We have 26 featured readers. Stacy Dyson's going to be here.
Prince
Jeff
McNally's going to be there.
Prince, are you coming? Oh
Yeah.
my God. If you come, it's going to fill my heart with love. I cannot wait to hug you again, my friend, and see you. Would be amazing. Rich Boucher is going to be reading. He's a local poet here. So come if you want. It's a 3-day event. It's amazing. If you go to the website here, I'll put it in the chat. Go to the website, look and see who is reading. And then we have the Tesoro VIP Champagne Show on Sunday. And so you get 11 women from Tesoro reading in that. I mean, let's go. It's amazing. So if you've never been to New Mexico, yes, we're part of the U.S. No, you don't need a passport to get here, unless you're coming in from outside the U.S. So Josephine does. But she's driving down from Canada. And then we have poets coming in from London and Mexico. So I'm so freaking excited to come if you want to. All right. So then that's all the plugging I'm going to do for that. So thanks.
Will there be hot air balloons?
Will there be, I'm sorry, say that again, Harvey?
Will there be hot air balloons?
So if you want to stay till October, so it's
Wait
true.
till
Like, so we
October.
fly hot air balloons. We fly a lot in September because you have to clock so many flight hours to be able to be registered and certified. The balloons got to be certified for Fiesta. So there is a lot of flying that happens in the September leading up to October. So if you come and stay, maybe get an extended stay place and stay for the balloon Fiesta, or if you just want to see if possibly we can get you onto a crew during some of those trial flight days. Yes, absolutely. I mean, come and fly. It's amazing. If you've never flown in a hot air balloon, I grew up doing it. I still do it to this day.
It's wonderful.
But yeah, I'm excited to meet Josephine. Yes, Rich.
Well, I didn't want to.
Sorry. Okay, let's do this. Harvey had a follow-up question. So before I mute myself.
It's not a question. It's just an invitation that I posted in the chat to Artful Dodgers Poetry's next reading, which will be April 6th at 2 p.m. at the Brooklyn Heights Public Library with a virtual component. And It'll be a hybrid reading. We're able to do that every several months. So come join us.
So I'm going to drop my email in the chat. So I'm on a Chromebook, which is really stupid. It won't let me scroll back because every time someone types chat, it brings me right back to the end. And it's so frustrating. I don't know. But if you want to put my email on an emailing list, I'm happy to join it and come and support. Whatever I can do to support everyone, feel free to send me stuff. And yeah, so absolutely virtual, in person. And if you need me to donate books, we have a bunch of books, so I can help donate books. If you're trying to fundraise for something, let me know. I'm happy to do that as well. And yeah, anyways, thanks.
I think you'd asked about the hot air balloons and just the general, to use an expression I cannot stand, vibe of the environment. It's a good time if you come to the festival that Marissa's putting on. I participated in the last one, and I came away very, very impressed by the organization, by the professionalism underlying the production of the event. I can be very, very critical. Yes, come and see the hot air balloons. The idle wealthy do come here all the time to fly their hot air balloons, and that's fine for them. It's a pretty sight sometimes, sure. The festival is going to be, if last year's was any, or if last year's could be thought of as any indication of what the coming years is going to be, then it's going to be a good time. Marissa knows that I am hypercritical of organizers and events. I see people all the time on Facebook who put up an event, come to this event at this bar. You have no admission information. I have no idea about the parking because you fail to do that because you're like a horrible organizer. And that's just the truth. I'm not going to mince words about it. But Marissa is one organizer who will let you know, yes, this is where you can park. There is an admission for this. There is not an admission for that, because you're supposed to be putting those things on the flyers. If you're going to presume to ask other people for their time on social media to read your publicity, you had better goddamned well put admission information. Can you park? Albuquerque can be a little finicky with parking in terms of just, I always look for parking information first before I go to any event, just because some venues have you park on the street. Some of them have their own parking lots. These things are important to know. And one of the events was at a gallery in Albuquerque, an art gallery that was just such a really I got to meet a lot of the poets that I had not met before. And it was a nice event because there was street parking, but it was in a little tiny neighborhood. And when I say tiny, I mean like little suburban streets. And it was just a really pretty thing to go to. And the venue was nice. I don't yet know
Did you see
information
what we
about the
were going to do
venues.
at
And
this
so
year? We got Harwood Art Center.
good. That's a good place. That's actually where there was a memorial for a poet mentor of mine who'd passed some months back. And the Harwood Arts is it's a great place for a venue. Great reading space for sure. So I'll just close whatever remarks I was going to say. I'm going to put my socials, I really hate that term, in the chat because I'm trying to pretend like I'm a young person, I guess, whatever, who gives a shit. But I'm going to put that in there. And Marissa, good job. As usual, you put 110% in. No big surprise there. And good work.
Will any of it be in Old Town at all, or?
So it's going to be in downtown, we're gonna do a staycation, come early and leave late if people want to come. So I know a lot of my Tesoro sisters are gonna be in early, so we're planning to go down to a hot springs here on the river and do an overnight at a hot springs venue. So it's like super fun. Old Town, I want to do lunch again on the plaza in Old Town because the restaurant that we went to in Old Town was really great food and it wasn't dumbed down for tourists. So I don't like taking people to touristy eateries here because our food is so sensational. But Old Town is like Santa Fe without having to go to Santa Fe. And so you get everything at Old Town. You get the art, you get the music, you get the jewelry and the culture, and the food, and there's breweries there. Yeah, so but we're not gonna have no freaking protests this year, Edith. So don't, it's gonna be good. Poet's gonna take over we're gonna take over the Old Town after. So Friday night is a free open mic at a local distillery brewery, and then Saturday is the full day venue of featured readers. And I'll tell you, we have poet laureates. Amanda Shea is coming from Boston, and she's an award-winning spoken word artist. We have all these people coming, but everyone is the same. Everyone is treated the same. Everyone gets the same amount of time. There's no hierarchy or tier of favoritism at all in this event. Everyone is equal, and that's a very special thing I think sometimes we don't get when we go to events. You can also, we've had huge names come through who haven't read, who are just people in the audience. So it's really nice to come and have a little bit of cloud of like normalcy. Like I'm just a normal person, and so they're not like fanned too much, they're not like spotlighted and feel really uncomfortable. So you get a lot of just being human at this event. And then Sunday we have the VIP Tesoro show. We'll do lunch on the plaza, and then I cook Sunday dinner for everyone in my home. So I open up my home and everyone comes and we commiserate and do a lot of fellowship, just of poetry building and getting to know each other outside of having to perform. And so you have, I welcome you into my home to come and break bread with me and my family. And it's just a lovely time. We have a really good time. So yeah.
I was gonna do one more chime in, if I may, and I'll make this one brief, which is I noticed that we have somebody who read earlier who is actually from a place that is an integral part of my poetic upbringing. Phil Linz, you and I have never met. I don't think we know each other, but I consider an important part of my heritage my time in Wilmington, Delaware. In fact, I was a member of the 2007 Wilmington, Delaware Poetry Slam team that represented Delaware at the National Poetry Slam in Austin, Texas that year. I have fond memories of the events happening at the Crimson Moon and other places in Wilmington, Delaware. It's a part of me, and so it's good to see a voice from Wilmington, Delaware, which people don't remember is even a state often. So thanks.
Thank you so much. I'll remember you to E. Jean Lanyon, who I'm sure you remember.
I know E. Jean. I think I spoke with her. I don't remember that. It's probably about 20 years ago since I've last spoken with E. Jean.
She is holding her own after various diagnoses and walkers, and we still have the second Saturday, which
Oh yeah. I just got poems accepted for publication in Dream Streets with Stephen Leach and Phil Banowski.
Yes.
Dana Garrett is an ally, a colleague of mine as well, as is Arabella Charterich. That whole scene, that whole crew are and have been and always will be a part of who I am. So thank you.
Thank you. I'll put my email in the chat, and I would love to correspond with you.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
And Rich goes to the Albuquerque readings. So that's where you see him a lot there.
Yes, he's here
I go to
in
some of the
Albuquerque.
live ones. Some of the live ones can be kind of a pain in the ass, so I kind of just
The
depends on
Zoom
my
ones are
mood.
wonderful. I was just one, what do they call that? Casa? What was the one the other day?
That's the one that was with John Roche and Jules
John
Nyquist,
Roche,
Casa
yes.
Urraca.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good reading. And there's Billy Brown the other day. Yeah.
Billy Brown is a fixture of Albuquerque
Yeah, he's
poetry, and
amazing.
the community
Brown's
is
fixed and free. Yeah.
the community is absolutely lucky to have him, whether or not they know it, but they are lucky to have him.
I won a prize on cultivating voices, and when I was a free membership to Fixed and Free. That's how I got introduced to Billy Brown and the group. And I'm staying in there. So now I'm officially a member. I just paid for my new membership this year. So hey,
I'll probably be aging myself by using this expression, but he's a good egg.
yeah. Roxanne, let us know when we should come back on.
When did we go on break?
Around 3:30-ish.
I mean, I think we can come back on anytime.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, I'll just put back the recording.
Okay, welcome back, everybody, for the last segment of Brownstone Poets. We're going to have 2 rounds of open micers, and we're going to have the fabulous third feature, Edith Blackbird. But we're going to come back. We're going to do like the first 7 people here. A lot of people didn't show up. I'm just going to read who's going to be in the round 2, because we're going to have a round 3 of open mics as well. We have Harvey Sauce. Jack, I don't think Jack is showing up. Austin Alexis is here. Charlie. Beth. Caroline's back. And Ken Howard. Yeah, okay. So remember, keep the 3 minutes. Harvey, unmute and share.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes. Everybody else, please mute yourselves. Thank you.
Just for your information, those who aren't aware of the Augean stables, they were the stables Hercules was tasked with cleaning. It's called A Politician's Guide to One-Stop Shopping for Thoughts and Prayers. The supply of condolences at most outlets is dangerously low, going fast in the manner of those specials on barely there lingerie at a Victoria's Secret Black Friday sale, practically see-through and wrap to go. As a favored expression of graveside etiquette, shimmery pink thoughts and prayers are simply flying off the rack. School shootings continue to mutate faster than a virus does. Long-haul truck drivers denied a raise, fearful of becoming a generation of dumpster divers, unload banana clips on management. Proof God moves in mysterious ways. With losses mounting in schools and workplaces, your electability largely depends on your voice box being viewed as less Fox radio predictable. If you had invested wisely, as your hedge fund manager advised, in Glock, Smith & Wesson, you'd be well on your way to retirement now that every slight seems to end in a gunfight. As the leading retailer of faux thoughts and prayers, you need look no further than us when a microphone is thrust in your face for comment at a power brunch. You can always count on our ventriloquism should a heartfelt response stick in your throat, that same hairball you choked on after Sandy Hook in Parktown. Uvalde. Who's next? Your waitress, ignoring your request for more maple syrup, seeks answers. Not even obituarists, shortlisted for the Pulitzer, can keep pace when life's levee breaks. Given the twitchiness of trigger fingers following the Simon Says of historic shootings, it's vital to play the good guys game. We have as much of a vested interest in do-gooding as you do. Thoughts and prayers as essential to your re-election as PACs are. Find yourself on the spot, prayed out, unable to think of a thing to say beyond your defense of the NRA. Forget the deep state. The shit we shovel on your plate tops any since the Augean stables. You can rely on us to provide your gold rush nuggets of leave-taking insincerity, making you appear more golden than you are. Let our Rapunzel spin your straw man arguments for gun rights into Hallmark cards, watermarked by ours when you can't squeeze out a tear. Don't you deserve the opportunity to piggyback on a winning template? Of course you do. And no one is more piggish than we are, except maybe you. Our thoughts and prayers, time-tested chimeras of commiseration, are reusable. Just change a word or two, après the next headline-grabbing shootout, and no waitress will ever again doubt your genuineness. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. Thank you, Harvey, for sharing that. That is really, wow, powerful. Okay, move on. Jack, do you want to read next? You're next on the list. Do you want to wait or what? Jack? We'll come back to him later. Austin, you want to unmute and share?
Hi. I stayed at the Helene Wurlitzer Foundation of New Mexico in Taos, New Mexico once. Well, no, actually more than once. So it's nice to make this New Mexico connection again. I'll read this one short poem. Publication. You flip through a magazine, its hodgepodge of trendy articles, its glossy pages advertising bars, comedy clubs, massage parlors. Your face drops at the sight of a 4-inch ad publicizing a wet underwear party you've never heard of, didn't know such events. Question your eyes? Swiftly you turn the page, sucking your teeth disdainfully, only to spot an advertisement touting a no underwear party. Now you close the magazine and toss the shiny pages in the trash, all the while wondering which revelry idea shocked you more and which was most enticing. Thank you.
Thank you, Austin. That was great. Next, Jack, you're here. Do you want to read next? Jack Cooper?
He has to unmute. He's not unmuted.
Are you talking to me?
Yes,
Yeah.
Jack, you're next.
Yay.
Now you're muted again.
Unmute so we can hear you hear a poem.
Okay, I can't.
Okay, we'll come back later to you, okay? Okay, next we have Charlie, and then we'll have Beth, and maybe we'll have Jack read, and then Ken to end the second round. Charlie, could you unmute and share?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
One poem called My Father in His Retirement Implores the Sea. I see his arms open in vacant embrace there on the orange shore. He implores the sea, licking his feet to reveal itself once and for all before it is too late. But what does he expect? The sea is just the sea. How terribly flat it stays, unresponsive, uncleaved, unremarkable, so much like the scrolling scrub plane where he was young and rode the fences. I watch him as if through binoculars, magnified, see his square hands twitch, impatient with the way things have become. This surface world he's stuck on is faithless and unsat, and there is just no solution for civilians. Even his crews have grown faceless in his dreams, turned away in fading blue distance. And what anyway but one's own impenetrable soul, and not God, is responsible for the content of his dreams? I want to know what he saw there, month after speechless month, deep beneath light. Was that his face, his true face, staring back from the black mirror? And only then, only there, made whole. And what of his brother, Captain, who went down and never came up, whose sons we played alongside? What did he fear most, if not this, the last helpless minute? It was mine. I grew up wandering inside the long cavern of his absences, but now that he is here, he is not here. He's there. I want to begin again, a child, start over, dive into his sea gray eyes and have him teach me how to swim, to measure me, not to see how tall, but to see how far, to smile down and whisper near my cheek. We have the time now, time to put a boat into the bay, just us, a small boat, 2 sails, and search for the patch of open water with 1,000 bright coins sprinkling over that signal a good breeze, and we will turn toward it and feel our sails swell and the keel hold us. Yet I fear this silence we breathe in is the silence of blood rusting in the heart, that what has been lost and what we might still lose will press itself against the bitter shore of our tongues like flotsam, will beg us one pale pearl morning for forgiveness, and we will not know what to answer or how.
Thank you. Beautiful. Okay. Next up, we're going to have Beth, and then Caroline, and hopefully Jack, and then Ken. They'll end the second round of the open before we move on to the final feature, and then the final open mic. Beth, unmute and share.
I did. Okay, what a great series of readings, a lot of memorable stuff. Okay, I'm going to be reading a poem that Brownstone Poets accepted for the 2024 anthology. It's a poem that's also included in a collaborative hybrid, a work entitled A Yellow Notebook. And it's based on my late father's final readings in the last year before his passing from a 10-year battle with chronic heart disease. And so it's called First Love. His name was Edgar. My father picked him up from the railroad stop in Landing, New Jersey, to help dig up the boulders, rake the dirt, smooth the ground for laying on the topsoil, which would become my mother's gardens, our lawn. He left each day at sunset. I don't know where he slept. I watched my father and Edgar work on the hill around our bungalow in the unrelenting August sun until lunchtime. Mother made Edgar the same meal, a cheese sandwich and a glass of milk, sometimes an orange. It was my job to carry his tray to the porch. She wouldn't let him inside. Edgar rolled his own cigarettes, spoke in a strange, soft voice. I didn't care. He had a banjo. After lunch, he'd play his country songs. My darling Clementine, oh, Susanna, teach me the forbidden words to the Big Rock Candy Mountains. I'd share his food, sing with him, dance around his chair. Then one day, he disappeared. We have another short one. This one appeared in April publications this past year. No Time to Mourn. 2 years after my father died, I heard a song over the car radio. The leader of the band is tired, and his eyes are growing cold. My hands trembled on the steering wheel. I pulled over and cried, called out to no one for the first time. So those of you who remember from my time age, that the leader of the band is from Dan Fogelberg's song that was written in homage to his father. And the verse continues, but his blood runs through my instrument and his song is in my soul. It reminds me of what you just read, Charles, very much a part of that same sentiment. Thanks a lot, folks.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. Okay, we're gonna have Caroline and then hopefully Jack, and then we're gonna end this second round with Ken. Caroline, unmute and share.
Okay, thank you very much. I had a little visitor. I had to take some time away, but also what I'm going to read is very simple compared to some of the complex and beautiful things I've been hearing and that I know we are all capable of doing. But I've had some very serious difficulties lately, so it was a favor to be asked to prepare springtime readings. And I'm going to read one of the poems from Springtime Readings. Every new spring. When spring arrives, she brings to life the tiny buds on every tree, and what had been bare branches now begin to wear their bright green gowns. But spring is not content with green, a monochrome, monotonous. There must be blooms of every hue opening all along the path. Blue sky brings harmony today, fresh air, small clouds, a little breeze. Earth opens up the treasury and lets new life feel free to grow. Now, all we living creatures on this wondrous biosphere can wake up and rejoice again for nature's boundless bounty. Simple and to the point. Happy springtime, everyone.
Thank you so much. It was beautiful, beautiful work. Okay, Jack, are you available? Jack, can you get on? Are you able?
Hi. Can
You're cracking up. Try it again now, because okay. I guess we'll come back to you later. Ken Holloway, do you want to like unmute and share?
finite parler?
Oh, you got it? You got on? Are you?
His
I-
feed is really messed up.
Oh dear.
You gotta love technology. Happy spring, everyone.
We'll come back to you later, Jack. Ken, you want to unmute and share?
Yes and yes, thank you.
Okay.
Two poems. The first one is very, very short. It's called, And She Said to Me, Wait a Minute. If waiting existed, time as we understand it would be stilled, and death would be a chasm between this moment and a moment we choose never to arrive, a notion which itself comes cantering in upon the back of time. So the second poem, Marissa and Harvey were done some very powerful work on school shootings, and I had I put this one in place of what I was going to read. The title is kind of a play, visual play, so I won't touch that. But it is about Uvalde. So I'll just read the poem. All right. Today, let's consider that old catchphrase, life is testing us. Wouldn't it be convenient if it were indeed a test? Algebra, for example, a test on algebra, which we've studied for since we were told the test might be taking place tomorrow. But there are those of us who have not prepared, those whose hearts are anxious, pressing quick fists of blood through their bodies, whose thoughts are shot through with uncertainty. There is an equation for this. It has to do with angle and velocity, an equation where x equals a bullet, and y is what we always ask in the aftermath. It's not easy to solve, and it's not possible to simply leave the room. The test is timed, but try not to look at the clock. Focus. This is not a drill. You need to work the problem before the numbers bleed out. Not so springy, but there you go. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Ken. And Jack, is it safe for you to come back on?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right.
But you got
I'm
arrested.
I'm calling live from the steps in romantic Montmartre. And I have a poem called Long Sleeve. I need to follow my unconscious. It provides the leads. And since it has been with me from the beginning, containing all whom I loved at the start, I should trust it. It is the underlying part, the figure of my soul. So never mind the ladies and gentlemen come lately, can only interfere. I feel and see and bleed from the heart. I am its Jack, a knave, so be it. I have stood kings and queens long enough, and nobody holds the ace who does not keep it tucked up a sleeve. Do I have time for another?
Please do. We got
Huh?
you. We got you. Do it.
Excellent. It's called Star. You brim within me to fulfill AM and PM. Overflow my eyes. Precious, this to be all for you gift. You, all to be. Without you, I would cease. No longer exist to my skin. Be nil, a one by itself. I alone, and we both know a not equal be out here where I illuminate the meaning of Cartesian space. Thank you, everyone.
Yay. Merci beaucoup, monsieur.
Ah oui, yeah.
C'est-
Je vous en prie, tous et toutes.
Oui. Okay, we're gonna, okay, before we move on to our final feature, I just want to reiterate who's coming up in the third round for the open. Alejandro, Prince A. McNally. Therese, do you want to read?
Yes, I
Okay.
would. Thank you.
Okay, we have Therese, and then we're gonna have Rich, Pusha, and myself and Roxanne. Okay, let me introduce, let me get into the full screen here. Sorry. Doing on this stupid computer of mine. Okay, I'm going to introduce Edith Blackbird. Is a Mexican queer trilingual writer, poet, performer with a declamation style. In Mexico, 2005, placed second in a nationwide poetry contest, and in 2007, the Sonora University published her in the anthology Realidad Aleatoria. Now in the USA, Edith has been published in the anthologies Diverse City 2020, The Sinew, 10 Years of Poetry in the Brew 2021, The Touching Tongues 2021, and in Out Loud, LGBTQ Literary Art Anthology 2022. She was featured in the Lion and Pirate event at Malvern Books 2020, in the Pastiche House event 2021, in the Waterfront Immersive Arts Festival 2020, 2021, and 2023, and in the 2023 NM Poetry Summit. She co-hosts Languias, a virtual event that promotes cultural diversity and art. Let's give a warm Brownstone welcome to Edith Blackbird. Take it away.
Hi, thank you everyone. I'm so glad to
Gracias.
be here. Muchas
Okay.
gracias. Hola a todos los aquí presentes. I'm Edith Blackbird, and like my wonderful host Patricia Carragon said, I'm a queer writer, poet, performing with a declamation style from Mexico. And muchas gracias, Patricia, really, for this wonderful opportunity. And gracias to my fellow poets, Marisa and Brian Franco, you know, to share this space with me. Those people are very important in my life, especially Marisa with the Tesoro group and family. We get a, you know, all together as women and fight for each other and for the people who are out there in a non-safe spaces, trying to share their poetry or their art in general. So Stacy, thank you for coming by. As well as everybody here, and you know, this is an honor to share this experience with all of you. So with that in mind, I'm going to have 3 points for you today. This is the first one, and this is called Viva Mexico, Cabrones. So hope you like this one, and then you let me know if you can hear my voice and the music as well. Thank you. Can you hear that in my voice as well? Yes? Thank you so much, everyone. So coming to that. And you shout, "Ahai, guapachoso man," to the sound of the dance floor and the shoes moving with the rhythm of our ancestor, an exquisite ritual of veneration for our mother nation, while you just, with your shoes go through, tap, 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 sounding the hills. The sweat, a smile, and dance, devouring the stage with art. A folkloric rhythm, anthem that honors our identity, our country, a country that rumbles elated at the farmer's passing. Oh, the graceful charro con su sombrero, the ladies in the jarocho dress and black lace handstands. Children kicking a soccer ball in the dirt field, the procession to the Basilica de Guadalupe, and every foreigner wandering hungry for the Latin swag. The hills. Tapping the dance floor, whistle, whoop! To aquella morenaza bella, rechula ella, gorgeous when blushing. Oh, show my queen gallant you bearing with that heart and pride. Walk and stretch out your hand, take hers, while your boots get lost in the song. The heels on the dance floor. Tapping and tapping and tapping with the chant your ears with los machetes and the sauce y la palma. And from heart to voice, sing El Canelo and El Gavilán, mighty ranchero, unto the rooster greets the sunrise. Hey, patrona, échale, woman! Proudly display your empress neck and your delicate hairstyle with flowers worthy of prize. Show the majesty of your garments, colorful dress embellished with ribbons, flowers, embroidered golden doves. Making waves and waves and waves with that leafy and magical skirt inspired by El Jardinero y El Gusto. And just like you, the entire nation dances with me to the blazing rhythm. Chile flavor melodies and mezcal with a touch of corn and a little lime. Celebrate the holidays to remind us from where you come from. And we all come from the same homeland. The hills now, sounding and sounding and sounding to remind us where we are going. And shout, please. But shout loud, Viva Mexico, cabrones, to remind us how chingona is our motherland. Salud con tu tequila. Thank you, everyone. So that was my first one. And I'm going to the next a poem which is called Pachita. And this poem is in English and inspired by the last day I saw and spoke my abuelita when she was in a hospital bed. She passed in May 2004, even though I still mourn her absence. I mourn her. I cherish her afterlife too, you know, because of the way I saw her those days. She died with diabetes, so this is a very personal one. So trigger warning for that, a lot of grieving here. Hola, abuelita. Once again, how are you today? No answer, no movements remain, only your body on display. Dormant by force, sealed eyes and lips, the contraction of my ribs. I still can hear, mijita, I cannot maybe anymore. With your essence in trance, I can take you home when you belong somewhere else I cannot find. Your existence lingers aquí, abuelita de mi alma, la playa, las chanclas, your rocking chair, bare feet on the sand, the sea, your voice calling me, and even your despair. You, the storyteller in the barrio at 6 p.m. surrounded by kids. Oh, Pedro Infante, in the radio, while you share legends and myths. Oh, I can still see you half smiling when little me dance at the festivales, mi chingona, abuelita, grandmommy, always there, even with your malice. But the failing of your health caused me resentment and remorse, loss of my hopeful self when I hear lo siento from your nurse. But your voice breaks a little bit my sanity, you know, a ghostly echo in my brain. Let me please lay in gravity next to your vessel. Train. I wish you say, te perdono. I wish to embrace your mistakes and feel, but I feel like an orphan. God damn, el abandono. But I swear you will never be replaced. A tear on your left cheek. Is it about that you can hear my sorrow? No, abuelita. It wasn't my intention to be weak yesterday, today, neither tomorrow. But you deserve la gloria. Sing to you sin ti. Tell your story of Victoria on the death of the day I'll visit you and visit me. I'll mourn you with my bell and all for a while. Mas por favor, abuelita, set yourself free. Don't worry about me cracking inside without you. You have to go. You have to go in your garden and see. A garden with all the flowers you love. Ciruelos, mangoes, trees of all kinds. You'll stay there infinite hours. An infinite green paradise for you to find. But don't wait for me, abuelita. Don't hold on my tears. Imagine your garden cerquita, shaking off your aches and fears. Perdón. Es que perdón if I bite my composure. Perdón if I squeeze in your hand tight. It's my human nature reluctant to say goodbye. But I surrender. I surrender to the unseen. Mamita, yo aún te siento aquí. So every May, I repeat, may my witness, please God, rest in peace. Thank you, everyone. So that was my second poem. I know, a little heavy, but it's a reminder of my grandma. Sorry.
It was beautiful. Thank you for sharing. My God, this is beautiful. What a performance today with all the features and even the open. My God, thank you.
Does Edith have a third poem? I thought Edith had a third poem.
Yes, I do. I'm sorry.
Oh, Okay.
I'm so sorry. So my third poem is it's called Acá Entre Nos, and it's a little more into the erotic side, so trigger warning for that. And hope you like that. It's a little bit of the fire that we promote sometimes, and word is right? Yes, indeed. So this is it. This is called Acá Entre Nos. Guacha compa, al chile. Yo veo que te gustan los retos, caray. But that queen over there is a real savage, so acá entre nos, déjame decirte, you wanna seduce her? Si de verdad la quieres centrar al quite, mijito, approach her with soft intention, but papacito. Mírala sin pestañear, ¿eh? Not a chance. Que se enganchen tus pupilas dilatadas, and like a werewolf, in heat, devour her tumbao de lado a lado till you reach your boiling point. But if you want to taste that queen, let me tell you, rompe, pero rompe rico sus bragas con los dientes después de escuchar, ay, sí, por favor, serpentea hacia ella y sírvete. Bow to her shell and worship that pearl, papacito. Queen will bless your restless lips, I swear. Y luego, de poquito, deja que florezcan sus piernas alrededor de tu torso erguido tan chingón. Do wrap with her Amazonian legs and let her hips swallow you in and out. Warning! Her nails will skin your back while she howls at the moon. Sin reparos ni reclamos por vecinos o propios. Es que acá entre nos, querido, if you wanna make that queen fall in love, y mira que me diste tu palabra de que la tienes tanto como para morir por ella, then, this is the secret, y para la oreja, embrace her intermittent self, fierce faults, flaws and all. Sí, su fortaleza es bella, pero sus debilidades son, picantes. Build a sandcastle for her inner little children, her little queen, and she might invite you in, come here, and offer a seat next to her throne. Porque mujeres como ella se abren en todos sus puntos cardinales, pero hay bufones que le han cortado sus rosales, dejando solo espinas en su garganta, cabrones ellos sí. Other times, she meets kings like her, sovereign, who wash her feet with their tears, healing her footprints. But regardless, Queen stands her ground to find her kind, and kind is the key. So to love a fiera is to love your own crown. Entonces, acá entre nos, querido, if you wanna be her king, para la oreja again. Start by claiming your own throne. Polish that crown of yours with wisdom. Y poco a poco surgirá esa fiereza en ti. Me muerdo uno, si no, a huevo caray. Así es. Thank you, everyone. So, that was
Thank you. Gracias. Muchas gracias. Woo! Woo! Wow. Thank you for sharing. My God, this has been some day. Yes. And we're still not finished with this fabulous readings. We got more open micers here. Part 3. Okay, let me give the lowdown here. We have Alejandro. Is Alejandro going to read?
No, he's not reading. He's my friend.
Okay, no problem. Okay. We have Prince A. McNally, Perez Cruz we have Rich Boucher, myself, and Roxanne. Okay, Prince A. McNally, unmute and share.
Afternoon. I'm so thrilled to be coming behind you, Edith. Last time we saw each other, we read together. I came behind you, and your energy is just incredible. So thank you. Thank you all the features and the open micers. Wow. I got 2 for you. First one's called, is a brand new piece. It's called The Color of Blues Songs. At day's end, you were saddened as the sun slowly slid beneath the purple orange horizon. I saw you crying. Tears the color of blue smoke. Your voice a haunting melody of psalms. When the heavens released its rains upon you, your body began to tremble as if God was moving through you like a storm. And this last piece is called She Manifesto, a graphic list poem. This is from my from my manuscript sheet. She's not trying to rule the world. She just wants to exist in it. Without being afraid, without being exploited, without being treated like a second-class citizen, without being labeled a bitch at the office just because she's the boss, without being oppressed, without being treated like the weaker sex. She's not trying to rule the world. She just wants to exist in it. Without being marginalized, without being objectified, without being subjugated, without being mentally or physically abused. She's not trying to rule the world. She just wants to exist in it. Without being nervous around men, without being harassed, without being stalked, without being attacked, without being raped, without being erased, without having to surrender the rights to her body, without being judged for her sexuality. She's not trying to rule the world. She just wants to exist in it without being murdered by the man who claimed to love her. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that very powerful poetry, Prince. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next up we have Therese. And then after Therese, we're going to have Rich, myself, and Roxanne. Therese, unmute and share. Glad you're able to make it.
Wow, this was fabulous. Let me tell you. Well, we're going to take a little bit of a different trip now. My poetry is, I just completed writing all of the Mysteries of the Rosary, which I hope to have published. And so since it's Easter, I'm just going to read the Resurrection and the Ascension, which are pretty brief. And they're not to persuade anyone. The glorious mysteries. A life beyond the span of time and space planned to overcome Eden's disgrace, the resurrection. Love divine is raised immortal among the cosmos as my body linked to you, striving forever to be present and co-create this world of shimmering matter's effervescence. We three now clothed within the material world where it was foretold I am the Alpha and Omega, an endless space encompassing both time and space. Love divine, incandescent, and eternal in Mary's womb is now freed from the tomb. The tomb could not hold love as I arose, incarnate, everlasting. Love incarnate, energized, and magnetized fills the loss of all who left this earth in remorse with hope, raised with him on this day. Attending to this inner light and reassured within a second, Mary felt God's glory present. Unrecognizable in human form, it wasn't long before she knew it was the Master. Those forlorn grieving his loss did not recognize this body beautiful, risen from the grave, save with the eyes of faith. Bewilderment tearing through mortal minds, searching for Christ's familiar face, now find his presence there to share. Blessed be this Trinity, the three who set us free and sought through love to be with all humanity. Our compassion overflowed, and seeing your fear, I walked with you and shared a meal. Yes, it is real, and as my love is very near, you need not fear, you need not fear. This mystery too sublime for us, still we must strive to give voice to the thrill of this resurrection, planned from the beginning of time, and earth's conception, and the first breath from the heart of the divine. Do you believe you can see the flow of my robe and Mary's too, and the entire communion of saints who knew at the very moment of their departure the resurrection I promised to each and all of you? We die no more. This trick of time is too sublime to comprehend beyond this veil and energy you cannot see, the ascension. Time is irrelevant, as in advance of the tears and pain of humankind, the divinity had already set us free. God wrapped himself in earthly flesh as love became incarnate and meshed with the material in the body of Our Lady, who is our mother, there is no other. Christ came for our protection, to overcome the blame that's so destructive when turned to self-will. Jesus walked the holy ground of humankind and found love and rejection, and so it is even now, as some bow at the altar receiving bread and wine, as others too are engaged by this love to a call so sublime we cannot understand or comprehend here. The energy of love flows from hand to hand as the body and blood of the divine is now forever within mankind. The love of God is all that's real, and we must each decide to feel the call in big and small events of the day and pray. Jesus the Christ walked with them as the energy of love emerged within and radiated in each person, star, and planet. No, not very far at all. Contemplation leads to struggle. Engaging now with the cosmic Christ to sacrifice and service to love and one another. No, I am not to be found within a tomb as you had presumed until angel friends enabled you to see it was me. To touch my hem, a feeble gesture, and passing through the veil of time, as I ascend, no, not above, but deep within each one of you who loves, together with the three in one, as reconciliation has now begun. Can you shatter the chains of self-will and follow me still, receiving measure upon measure of this treasure of unitive love? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Happy Easter to you.
Thank you.
Happy
Thank you.
spring. Okay, we're getting down to it. Rich, you want to unmute and share? You're next, and then myself and Roxanne, we end the day.
Yeah, sounds good. And thank you very much. I hope you can hear me clearly. So I had been mindful recently of a mind thinking about how people are kind of mocking the former president for having so many lawsuits and legal troubles, and people have been deriding him specifically for having to owe money because he paid hush money to a porn star, and they've been saying the phrase porn star derisively, as if he should be ashamed of it and as if she should be ashamed of being a porn star. And I say to those people, go F yourselves, go pound sand, because a porn actor's career is a woman's choice. And this is dedicated to, this poem is published in the Fiction Free March 2024 issue, and it is dedicated to Ellen Koshka. And Ellen Koshka is a gorgeous, heavenly, and very limber and flexible adult film actress who I admire very much. This is called How Can I Express in Just a Few Words What Has Taken Me 5 Seconds to Understand? For Elena Koshka. I asked the adult film star if she would love me for a little while. This was at the Expo Convention Booth Arena Concourse Place, where she was signing autographs and taking pictures with all of her admirers, who admired her, much in the same way that I admired her. Upon hearing my request, she looked at me with an expression of a lovely and heartfelt shock. Her shock was beautiful and sexy, of course, because she was adult and because she was film star. She held my gaze for a few moments, and in that time I thought about my life and how weird it was that I was still alive, and how strange it was that people still sometimes loved me when I couldn't see any reason for the love. The other onlookers to this interaction had no idea what was going on, and they milled about like people who aren't me often do when a thing is happening that they don't think is happening. The adult film star's look of shock melted just then into a smile small enough to fit onto her lips, and she then informed me that I was sweet. Which was nice, but in every honesty, she wasn't telling me something I didn't already know. They only give each pilgrim, autograph, and photo seeker about a minute with the adult film star. So I was already under enough pressure as it was. Everyone had to make the most of this once-in-a-lifetime experience. The guy right before me used his chance to just touch the hem of her robe and be healed. And the adult film star healed him. Yay, Hosanna. My time was running out, and I didn't want an autograph or a Polaroid with her. I just wanted to know if this love thing was real. And if so, could I have some of her love for a while? That piece is dedicated to the heavenly, athletic, limber, and enthusiastic Elena Koshka, adult film star extraordinaire.
Thank you for sharing. It was really great. Thank you. Thank you, Rick. And I am next. 2 poems, one old and one new. Very serious poems. Sorry about that. But the way the world is, I'm going to read these. The end of the world. In a dream, her parents' wedding photo burned slowly. Their ashen marriage vaporized in life and death. A grayish puddle formed a stain on the chest of drawers. She woke up and went about her day, listened to an old song, The End of the World. Depression, read her tarot cards. A heart bled, pierced by 3 swords. A woman, tied and blindfolded, surrounded by 8 swords. A woman wept in bed. 9 swords hung above her wall. Her futility walked in her parents' shoes. The world didn't care if her life was going nowhere. The sun and stars went into hiding. 2 mourning doves stopped singing. Islands of plastic floated in the sea. Bad news kept recycling. The world still on suicide watch. On the news, there was another shooting. Children's hearts bled, pierced by 3 bullets. Justice tied and blindfolded, surrounded by 8 white men. Mothers wept in their beds. 9 AR-15s hung above their walls. Futility walked in American-made shoes. I'm going to read this one, inspired by Billie Eilish. That other one was inspired by Skeeter Davis and what's going on in the world. What was I made for? My imagination used to float over the empty courtyard, away from home and school tensions. But reality crushed childish fantasies. My fairy godmothers never paid visits. My prayers only heard by statues and crosses. A slap here, a slap there. A fault here, a fault there. Never special enough for praise. Constructive criticism would box my ears. A child's anguish never to be seen or heard. And school wasn't much better. Don't cry. You'd only make things worse. Complaints would only make you ugly. But in the mirror, I was already there. I had no purpose but to live. Sadness grew over the passing years, stalked me when least expected. This shadow grew without light. This shadow was the Sandman who stayed and wouldn't let go of my thoughts. School had its hierarchy, but I was a slow learner, the perennial outsider who drifted from grade to grade. Unprepared, I graduated into adult shoes, became a cliche, rose through the ranks in the 9-to-5 world. My anxiety wore business attire, my self-worth plucked like feathers. I had no purpose but to accept this bad script of which I couldn't edit. Sadness grew over the passing years, stalked me when least expected. This shadow grew without light. The shadow was the Sandman who stayed and wouldn't let go of my thoughts and body. The Sandman became my lover. I surrendered to sadness, and in return, I learned to be happy. Thank you. Sorry about the Debbie Downers, but hey, it's the way it is. I'm going to end it with with the Zoom Meister, my buddy Roxanne Huffman. Take it away, Roxy.
Okay, I'm going to read two. One is called, I read these this week, so if you heard me read them this week, I apologize. They might be a little bit different. I think I was working on this one. So this is from my Hitchcock series. I'm writing one abecedarian for each of Alfred Hitchcock's films, and this is called The Shootist, and it's after The Man Who Knew Too Much, the first version of 1934, and it's dedicated to my mother. The Shootist. Alpine aspirations, baffled by barking dogs, chiming timepieces, deadly bullets take out a dancing Frenchman. Enters the Englishman, yours, flawless to a fault, to find guarded game clue hidden in plain view for instant jeopardy. Geez, Jilly! Killing machines lean in. Oh, mama. Merciless and mercenary, nabbing nervous offspring, yours as well. Parental quandary. Rescue daughter or save some stranger and the world. Trading lives. Umpteen variations weigh upon this woman's wailing heart like leaden stones. X day comes, you take aim, zero in and fire. Finally take home the gold. Your little girl whimpering, swaddled in your arms. Strangers shake your husband's hand. The dog resumes his barking revelry, and the world carries on. And the second poem, if I can find it, hang on, is Rumpelstiltskin. Let's see if I can get that up. Okay. Rumpelstiltskin. Dear sir, but for a slip I might call you father, or be the son you never had, junior to your senior, Rumpelstiltskin and son, magicians and matchmakers will transmute. 21 and 5'3" on tippy toes, I have your beady eyes, wink, wink. Mother sends her regards. Smiles beguile happiness, and fictions live daily, often come true. You see, she too has charms, turning despot to princely, even cast her spell on you. Babe in the woods, victim of father's pride. With all your tricks, you never stood a chance. Lemons, sunshine, she, silver haloed, owns, daily applied, spun her wheat locks to gold. Not quite magic, but that's love. Every twist of her locket still upon your neck, she knows you wear. Her ring on your pinky, twinkling in the sunlight, unlocks rainbows.
Mhm.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you,
For
Roxy.
a glorious event. Wonderful features, a wonderful open mic, as a breathtaking experience. A way to welcome spring.
Yeah, happy spring, happy Easter, whatever holiday you celebrate. Enjoy and come back next month. We're going to have next reading will be on April the 27th with Sarah Sarai, Bruce E. Whitaker, and Cornelius Eady. Should be really fabulous. And I want to give a warm Brownstone thank you to Marissa Prada, Brian Franco, Edith Blackbird, Roxanne Hoffman, my Zoom Meister, the open micers, the guests in the audience who didn't read, Thank you. Thank you. This Brooklyn, the sun, and everything. Thank God it's sunny now for a change. I'm sick of rain. It's a little cold. My hands are cold because it's a little chilly in my house. That's why I'm wearing a turtleneck. But thank you, everybody. Enjoy. Hopefully, it'll be warm weather when we meet again next month. And enjoy your day. Unmute and enjoy.
Thank you, Patricia. Thank you. Thank you.
Patricia,
Have a good
thank
night,
you for
everyone.
doing this.
Everybody.
Thank
Yeah.
you, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you,
Peace.
everybody.
Wilmington
See you
lives,
later.
brother.
Peace.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Yeah, nicely done.